Yeah. What's up, man? Coming to you live as your neighborhood wise man, the boy C Hop here with my little bro Nah, man. The Wolf of Wall Street, man. Coming to talk to him about his new book that he got out, you know what I'm saying, and all the other ventures that he got going on, man. Positive brother, man. Little bro doing a lot of big things, man. You know, from the music to the mentoring, from the book writing to the advice, you know, it's non-stop, man. Little P. Diddy, man. You feel me, man? But y'all heard it here first when he blow up, man, and really take it to a whole nother level and be this billion or millionaire. But for the most part, nah, man, what inspired you to write that book? Which is a dope joint. Cheating is not. That was a dope concept.
Yeah.
I like that joint.
What inspired me to write the book, you know what I mean? So it's crazy because like back when I was doing music, old head that was like, you know, like mentoring me a little bit. He said like, yo, you a writer, like you ain't gotta be limited to just music. You could write scripts, you could write movies, you could write books, whatever you want to write, you know what I mean? And at the time I was so young, it didn't really dawn on me, you know what I mean? I think he was the first person that planted a seed in my head about writing a book. But when I really got the inspiration, I attempted to write a book in 2017. You know what I'm saying? But I really couldn't find the words. Like, what I learned about book writing, it's just like writing a rap. Like, that shit kind of got to flow. Like, because you can get writer's block. You know what I mean? And you don't want to force it. You feel what I'm saying? So, in 2017, when I initially attempted to, it was going to be called War on Love. You know what I mean? It was going to be about men and women in the war. I feel like it's a war on love between men and women. It's a status thing. It's a position thing. It's an authoritative thing. So that was going to be the concept of the book. But it never came. I just never went back to it. Life kind of went on. But in 2019, November, I just literally just picked up my notes one day. My notepad on my laptop. I got an iBook. So just like your phone, but it's a laptop. And I'm writing on my notes. And next thing you know, I'm going. I probably got like 3 chapters done before I have a name for anything. I'm just writing about cheating. I was like, man, I normally talk about relationships. It get a lot of attention. I'm gonna just start writing. I let a couple people read it. The feedback I got was crazy. They kind of like
encourage you.
Yeah, like yo, this joint, I want to see where this go.
Right.
So I'm like, all right, now I'm in. But I'm not gonna lie, this is November. I don't touch it. I ain't go back to it until January 2020. And then I'm like, all right, my car got took right before this pandemic hit. So through the whole month of February, I ain't had no car. I was in the crib. I'm just in there. I just started working on that shit. You know what I mean? And then the pandemic hit, and that gave me even more time to even figure it out and be able to come up with a whole plan and put it out and stuff like that. So crazy how 2020 has been unfortunate, but at the same time, blessings kind of came from it. So, you know, that's where my inspiration came from. It just came from me feeling like men and women, I feel like that there's a lack in understanding between the two in most cases, and a lot of times men, like, we articulate, we know how to talk.
Right.
A lot of men don't know how to explain what they saying, and I feel like
how they feel.
Even how they feel. And women, and the same thing, they don't understand sometimes a male logic. So I knew that I could create a book that could put it in a perspective that a female could remove her emotions from it, because it's not coming from her man, and just look at the logic of what I'm saying. They could see our point of view, or at least try to. You know what I mean? So for the most part, I haven't really talked to a girl that didn't see it that way.
Right.
They all said that it was mind altering. Even though, so I know it's two different types of women, because some women that still hurting, healing, they not ready for that book. Because there's a lot of accountability that's to be taken from the man and the woman. They assume like, oh, this about to be he about to justify men cheating. But then they read it, they be like, oh, he not justifying. He really talking about the male ego and pride and, you know, just forgiveness and healing and things like that. So when they jump into the book, they realize that the title is just an eye catcher more than it is about cheating.
I was about to ask you next, what made you go with cheating is not cheating? Like, is it from a bad relationship from the past, or is it just from you just being aware of things that's going on with maybe your friends or people you know and different stuff like that? Like, because that's a dope name, you know. That's a dope way to come into something, because it is catchy. It's something that you walk by, you like gotta raise a curiosity and say, you know what, and it's different. You know, usually we write about the streets, we write about, you know, different making money or you know, killings and stuff like that. So to come from a relationship stuff, and a lot of people don't realize like how you transform.
Right.
Like what you been through. Like, you was a real little dude in the streets as a young guy. You was tough. You was like just like anybody else in the streets, grinding, carrying. Like you've been through that lifestyle, so you can talk about that. And for you to be able to get into the music and be able to transform again into book writing, to managing, to promoting, and to do all this, and then come up with a book that don't got nothing to do with, not to say it don't got nothing to do with life, because we all go through relationships.
Right.
But is a person, but the old Nah that used to be rapping, the R&O Nah might have came up with a more street book, but this Nah come up with a book that's for everybody. And
Right.
no matter what race, color, creed, everybody can relate to cheating in relationships and
Right.
whatever type of advice that you come with.
Right.
So, like, how big was that for you to, after the project was done, for you to come and, like, how did it make you feel having this, completing this type of project?
See, honestly, like you said, like it's like so many different. Like for me, like I'm a thinker, so like I always come up with different concepts, different ideas, and like for my first book, I definitely wanted it to be something that could grab everybody. And I know that no matter what type of person you are, you got relationship problems. Rich people, poor people, athletes, rappers, street niggas, working men, like
Right.
anybody. So that was my number one thing. A man, I looked at human nature. I said you got men and you got women. You know what I mean? What can appeal to both? That's not about social status, not about ethnicity, not about background, not about religious beliefs. What type of book can grab anybody? You know what I mean? Because that's some of the things that keep everybody's perspective divided. When it's like, I believe in this, you believe in that. We could choose to agree to disagree. But one thing about human nature, you can't, nature is nature. The laws of nature is a fact. Like it rains, it snows, day follows night, night follows day, winter follows summer, this is facts. So you gotta look at human nature the same way you would look at the laws of nature.
Right.
So it's certain things that's in a woman's nature that's not in a man's nature. And we don't understand each other's nature, we can't understand each other.
Right.
Like men can see the character of a man. Women look at the profile of a man. It's different. They look
Right.
at the image, the perception, what he put out there. We looking at, okay, it don't matter if he got money. He's a coward, or
Right.
he's this, or he's not a real dude. It
Right.
don't matter if he's tough. He's this. You know what I mean? So
Right.
women look at it like, oh, he cute, or he got money, or he this. So it's like their views is different. So when they get with a guy and he not who they thought he was, we can see if a girl with a cornball off the rip, like, oh, we don't say it, but we
Yeah,
see it.
no
And I'm
doubt.
pretty sure it's things about women that women might notice that we
the
don't
rip,
notice.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like your mommy might say something like, you wonder like, damn, why she feel like that? But then it might come to fruition. So I say that to say I needed a book. I wanted to create a book that could make a woman at least try to see the difference in their
From our
nature.
perspective.
Just at least attempt to.
Right,
But
right,
at the
right,
same
right.
time, it's things in there because I understand women. Like I went to school for psychology too,
Right.
so I study human behavior. So I spend a lot of my time. One of the people I study most is women. Like, you know what I mean? Like people will be like, women be like, how do you know us? So I study women
Right.
more than I study men. I don't study men because I'm a man.
Man, right.
So I don't really got to study something that I feel like I'm learning as I go on.
Right.
But a female is interesting to me. So I learned different things about them. So it's things in there that a man would be like, damn, I did see my girl do this, or this is, and a girl will agree like this is what it is. So to get to the whole totality of the question is, the way it made me feel to even, like this book is gonna be so big, cause I didn't even be able to scratch the surface with how big it is. I didn't even get to really promote it. This pandemic has kept me
Boxed in.
boxed
shelled
in
right, yeah.
to where though, so I'm
Limited.
happy to sell all them copies I sold.
Right.
And I ain't get to hit another city yet. Nobody in Atlanta probably know about this book. Nobody in LA probably know about this book. So I didn't even tap the market that it really could
Right,
tap.
right. That's
And then I'm
big.
a black African American author from the hood that wrote a relationship book. That ain't never been done before.
No, that's big.
You know what I mean? Like I ain't from here. I'm from here. So it's
Right.
like they want, let me hear what this young brother got to say. But this is the first time I did something that I felt like I did it. I've dropped mixtapes. I did this. I started businesses, had multiple businesses. But this book right here, I cried for the first time outside of like a death. I literally sat in my car when it hit me. It was a surreal feeling, and I cried. You get what I'm saying? And it was like tears of joy, and I just was proud of myself because I'm like, damn, like I wrote this book word for word. I edited this book word for word. I published this book myself. I ain't had no budget, no back end. I didn't even have money at the time. No bullshit. Like I told you, my car got took. I'm sitting here putting my little ends together. It's crazy how this whole year just like it trended. It went from like here. And that shit it went all the way up, you know what I mean? And the success of the book, we still in the beginning stages, but I already know there's gonna be a bestseller. Like I already know it is. I know, and it's the fact that I did it. The fact that motherfuckers from where I come from don't write books. They don't even read books, and they reading books because I wrote a book.
Right.
I got niggas reading books that never read a book in their life. I got people thinking about writing books that thought they could or thought they should, but never actually took the initiative to do it. And it's like, that's how you change the culture.
Right, and that's,
You know what I mean?
a good effect that you have on the people, and that's something like this coming from somebody like you said, being from the hood, being from the ghettos, and somebody like you, right, and showing a broader perspective, a broader outlook on life, because you know they put us in a box, and they make everything about violence and drugs and hurt and then harm and all this different stuff. So for you to come left field but come right, you came left but right, you feel what I'm saying?
Right.
And you came right to show that it's more to us So it's so many levels that this can go to, because there's more to us than what they see.
Yeah, for
or
sure.
what's perceived.
100%.
Which lead me to my next question. With all that's going on with the George Floyd death, and I see that y'all did a thing up the art museum.
Yeah, we was down like the Spruce and Dock Street.
Okay.
That was like Front and like Spruce.
Okay.
that
Oh,
area
y'all
down
was
there.
down Columbus. I thought
Yeah,
y'all
Columbus,
was,
yeah.
From when I looked, I thought it was
Because of the steps.
Yeah, because of the steps. I
yeah.
thought it was the art museum. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So I seen that. How do it make you feel to see these things transpiring, as far as the rioting? I mean, well, not riot, but the protesting, the looting, and the people going wild, burning and going crazy. Like the times are on top of a pandemic. Like how has this made you feel? Or what's your opinion on all that's going on in them regards, in the death of George Floyd and the others who died along with him, since this been happening and it's just getting exposure now because it's been happening?
Right. I think that social equality has been something that's been like overlooked, and I think that protesting brings the right type of awareness to it. I think that it does display unity. I think that when we get into the conversation about looting and stuff like that, I think that comes down to people's agenda.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, are you doing this for a cause? Or are you doing this for personal gain and then going to justify it with the cause? I think that it's two battles that need to be won for us to get equality. We got a war within ourselves that we got to win, because black people hate black people just as much as white people hate black people. So we can't win the war without. That's outside of it. We can't win it within. Right. So if I hate you and I'll kill you, but I want them to respect us, how that work? You know what I mean? That's like a self-respect thing. So we gotta respect the culture in which we come from, and then they'll respect it. They ain't gonna have no choice to respect it until we can strengthen our minds, put our mindsets on like wealth and different things like that, and understanding financial literacy and understanding growth, understanding that we are not meant to be poor, and like having that poverty mindset, then we can't really fight the real battle. Right. Because the protests, it's like, for me, it's always what's next. Like, all right, boom, we did that. They arrested these officers. What's our next step? Because it's like I just feel like we all got short-term solutions for a long-term problem. This problem has been developing for hundreds of years. So we ain't going to get it overnight. But the truth, it has to be, it's like if you got a car, right? Let's look at a fucking Bentley. You look at the interior of a Bentley, you look at the outside of Bentley, like, damn, that car crazy. But the engine fucked up, the transmission fucked up. What is the car really worth at that point? We gotta fix the shit that's inside of us towards each other before we could ever think that they going, you know what I mean?
Respect us.
Respect us. But in the meantime, we continue to unite, we continue to use these things to bring awareness and to show them that we can stick together. But we do it more than just in these times. Like, let's really continuously do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
continuous maintenance, continuously working on this stuff. Like, it's funny that you can tell you my little brother, right? I don't know if I posted, but I got it because I was going to post it before on my story, and I was saying similar the same thing. And it's about you, so I don't want to make it about me. But I was basically saying, to say what you're saying, is that people might not always understand this particular statement. We have to work on within. We have to work on ourselves personally, number one, and how we look at each other. And we have to work on our culture and our race as itself. Until we do that, we not really gonna never be fully respected. Because one of my joints that I'm gonna do probably on a solo is based on, we don't enjoy, or we not happy about the fact that our youth, and once was me, and once was your generation, or whatever the case may be, and now there's a new generation, now there's my son's generation, out killing each other and going through all these different problems and the same street wars we went through. We're not proud of that. Just because somebody always say, oh, y'all mad when the cops kill a black man, but y'all kill each other every day. Whites kill whites, Asians kill Asians, all this and so on and so forth. Everybody kill each other because they deal with each other the most. But that doesn't mean that we're proud of it, or that we are happy, or that we cool with it. We still be sad, we still be mad and upset when we kill within. Right. But this is from people who's supposed to protect us. And when you see this happen, our protectors killing us,
who can we trust?
Who can you trust? And why should we, like, you're much as an animal or a killer, and then they get off freely while we getting life sentences for stuff that they don't get life for. So if you had, like, to get closer to wrapping it up, if you had to give advice to the youth, young men, young women, and you could pick a few different things, as far as the ghetto stuff, as far as the street stuff, as far as the business stuff, whatever you want to talk about. If you had to give a message to the youth coming behind you, and even advice to the people your age and older, what would you say in closing, and also after that closing out with the feelings on your book?
All right, so if I had to, for anybody, this is transparent for all ages, definitely the youth. It's really about discovering yourself and sticking with it and being patient with yourself. You know what I mean? Especially if you somebody that come from the streets, like I come from the streets, right? I like to talk to street niggas because like me at one point when I was in the streets, my mindset was broad, but at the same time it was boxed in within the borders. Like I actually had dreams on getting rich out the streets. Not saying that you can't make a lot of money, but it just the ceiling for it is not high as the ceiling for, you know, the other things that's out here. So what I want to say is have patience with yourself. Like the same way you could sit here and calculate how much time you could give in jail, give yourself that same amount of time out here on the streets to get your dreams that time to manifest. And it's not really, don't focus on your surroundings and they pace, because like we all got our own destination we going to. So me and my brother could leave this spot at the same time, but he gonna get in his car and go his way, I'm gonna go my way. I can't calculate how fast he get where he going because we going in two different places. So focus on your journey, be patient with yourself, and discover what you're passionate about and go towards it. And this goes for anybody that's out there doing whatever it is that they trying to do. For the people that's out here protesting stuff for social justice, you know what I mean, I stand with y'all, you know what I mean, I got my full backing, you know what I'm saying. I just want myself, I want us as a people to expand our mind as to what we feel like we deserve and what we feel like we're worthy of. I never care for the validation of them. I only care for how I felt about me and how we feel about each other. And it is not until we feel the way we should feel about each other that we could even like turn our shoulder to anybody else, because it's been forget them. You know what I mean? It's been that. So just like, I'm gonna be honest, I like to compare it to being in the jungle, right? The lions and the tigers they both animals. We all humans, but they don't get each other. They live different. They don't get us. So expecting them to sympathize and empathize and get where we coming from, they could try, but it's really not too much they could do. So for us to win this war and create equality, we need more people in power. The way we get into power is we educate ourselves, we work on getting more money, we work on funding the shit that we need, and the more education is the root to success, ignorance is the root to all failure. It's just that simple. So with that being said, any war that we out here battling, any equality that we need will be won with the power of the mind. When we understand how powerful our mind is and don't let it be manipulated and torn down, then there's nothing that can stop us. That's what I'm on for that. As far as in the book and how I feel about it, I'm excited for what's to come for it. You know what I mean? This is my first time actually speaking about the book. I appreciate you bringing me on here. You know what I mean? I tip my hat to my brother. You know what I'm saying? I just want y'all to see, just understand that, you know, this is the first conversation that y'all hearing me speak on, and y'all gonna see the success of it. So this is a historical moment in a sense, because you can look back on it and be like, we spoke this into existence.
Right, no doubt.
So I know it's gonna be a bestseller. Like he said, it's attention grabbing, it's thought provoking, it make you think, make you wonder, and that's everything that I wanted to execute with in doing it. I'm proud of myself. You know what I mean? I'm proud of my people for the support they've been giving me. I appreciate us, and you know, this pandemic came and it's about to go, and you know, I just hope that everybody ready for life to return back to the regular form. You know, justice for George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and everybody else who unfortunately lost their life to the hands of a senseless, ignorant, reckless, I can't even call these motherfuckers cops. They just indecent human beings at this point, you know what I mean? Because they not here, they not protecting and serving when they punishing us. You know what I'm saying? So big ups to you. I appreciate you having me. I'm proud of you for what you're doing. You know what I mean? This is something that I feel like is your calling. You know what I mean? This really is the wisest person. He educated me, grew up looking up to him. You know what I mean? Before I even knew we was like similar in charismatic ways and being able to talk and all of that, I always heard it coming up. You know what I mean? So it's crazy when I met him. I'm like, damn, we really is similar. I can see where the comparisons could come from as far as in like, yo, you remind me of Hassan, you know what I mean? So that I wore that with like a badge of honor, because I knew how I felt about you growing up, you know what I mean? I looked up to you, you know what I mean? And like, you was ahead of your time, you know what I'm saying? So big up to you. Thank you for having me on here, you know what I mean? As the Wolf, checking out, you know, and that's what it is.
So I just want to clear, this is my blood brother. He said met meaning when I came home from
the
feds, because I went away when they was so little.
Yeah.
But if anybody got any benefit out of this, even if it's one person, if we was able to enlighten somebody about either the book or about just social justice or about just inspiration in general, then we did our job. And thank you for listening, man. Over and out, the Neighborhood Wise Man.